Now, I want to go to more now on the scandal at the BBC. Their Director General and news boss have both been forced to resign over political bias, with the network's Panorama program editing the US President Donald Trump's January the 6th speech back in 2021 to suggest he was encouraging the violence that followed. Have a look at the BBC edit and then, of course, the uncut version.
We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and I'll be there with you, and we fight. We fight like hell. We're going to walk down to the Capitol, and we're going to cheer on our brave senators and congressmen and women.
Yeah, as I showed you earlier, our ABC made a very similar edit, editing out that stuff about going down there to cheer on senators and Congress people. And they went on to where he said he wanted to show strength and be strong. Where the BBC went further down and said he was going down there to fight. And two very senior people have paid with their jobs. Let me bring in News Corp European correspondent and, of course, Sky News contributor Sophie Elsworth. She's outside the BBC's headquarters. Focus of so much controversy for so long, but with the Director General going and the news boss, Sophie, it's going to be a massive shake-up, isn't it? Things just might change.
Well, Chris, the BBC is in crisis today. As we know, the two top bosses resigned last night in disgrace. And now there is a massive spotlight on the BBC yet again, because they've been accused of institutional bias for a series of reports, including that report you clearly outlined in your editorial about the Trump documentary that was on their Panorama program. But today, just some of the front pages here. Chris, you know I love showing them to our viewers.
It's fantastic.
Here on the front of the Sun, the B boss quits. We've got this one over Trump lies. And then we've got the Daily Mail here. BBC bosses quit in disgrace. I mean, these are just a couple of the key newspapers here in London today. Every front page is about the BBC's disgraceful conduct. And the fact here, Chris, that these instances seem to keep occurring where they're accused of bias or something goes wrong and they take too long to apologise or address the situation. And the Telegraph in the UK here put immense pressure on the BBC last week about this documentary relating to Trump. And finally, the bosses have resigned.
Yeah, incredible stuff. And as I've highlighted at the top of this program, a very similar edit to the very same speech means the ABC have got to answer questions here. Now, they say they've done nothing wrong, but I think there's going to be an outcry over what they've done with that same speech. Fascinating to see that play out in the BBC because the issues are so similar. The organisations really and the way they conduct themselves are so similar, the BBC and the ABC. But I want to go back to the royal scandals now, Sophie, and these revelations that the former Prince Andrew used to have prostitutes coming to Buckingham Palace. And if that's not scandalous enough, the suggestion is the Queen would have known about this and done nothing about it.
Yes, these reports have emerged here in the UK. Chris, it's never a dull moment here with Prince Andrew, or formerly Prince Andrew, now Andrew Mountbatten Windsor. And now there's these allegations that he had prostitutes in at Buckingham Palace and that his late mother did know about it. And these reports emerged from the author of the new book entitled Andrew Lowney, a British author and historian who I spoke to in detail a couple of weeks here in the UK. I spoke to him, Chris, but the scandals surrounding Andrew just never end. And the leaking around Andrew and his former wife, Sarah Ferguson, continues. We know that he's moving out of the Royal Lodge. But he is very much on the outside now of the royal family. He will not be seen in public for a very long time. He's, gone into exile, really, and we know that he'll be moving to Sandringham possibly in the new year. So the bad headlines just continue for him. And sadly for the royal family, they cannot shake this, Chris.
It'd be almost impossible for him to hide. I suppose the expectation is on the Sandringham estate, there'll be security around there. He basically just live his life there for a while and have to sneak out if he ever wants to go anywhere.
Well, Chris, it's a big estate. There's plenty of places you can stay there. It's not like he needs to go down to the local shop and buy his milk and newspapers and bread. He can get that done for him, but he will not be seen out in public. He won't be at the Christmas celebrations that they have in Sandringham, and that's really key, Chris, because the talk is that he won't move there until the royal family and Christmas has passed to avoid that awkward exchange. But he cannot shake these bad headlines, that's for sure.
Oh, wow. They're keeping the awkward uncle right away from everything. Thanks for joining us, Sophie. Fascinating stuff. Sophie Elsworth there all over it in the UK.